Hello, everybody. Today I'll speak about how to mitigate bias and hallucinations with the AI model. But before that, I would like to give you a little bit context and the background about myself. My name is Misael Castro. I am an IT program manager, a senior project manager, and I have also experience in account management. I have been running some projects with AI, mainly with object recognitions and facial recognition, mainly pilot projects. And I do also have a certificate, a diploma certificate of AI applications. And I have been working with generative AI models intensively for about a year. And that through that time, I have experienced a lot of cases with biases and hallucinations. And that inspired me to create this video for you. And I do hope that it will be helpful for you in your daily, day-to-day activities for your projects or your workflow tasks. Okay. First, I would like to start with the concept of AI biases. And what does bias mean, right? So, bias is a systematic tendency in AI models to favor certain outcomes or perspective due to imbalance or skew training data, potentially leading to an unfair or inaccurate results. So, as you may know, and you know, humans are biased. We are biased, and we have uh, favoritism or likes to a specific products, um, uh, services, and many other things that we as humans are biased. So AI machines mimic humans, therefore they are biased too, right? So the way the AI is trained may have been built in biases as well. So today I will walk you through some practical examples, use cases that I built for this video, and how bias can, I mean, when they occur and how to mitigate it. Okay. So I will use mainly ChatGPT and Mistral. Okay. Now, there are some, excuse me, there are some key elements that should be taken into account for bias mitigation. And I have a list of 9 key elements that I consider are so important for you to uh, be aware and take into account when interacting with these AI models. So the first one is context. And I think you have heard in social media posts, maybe you already took a training about prompting, right? And many times they speak about context, give context to the model so that you can have better responses. And that is one of the primary key elements. The second one is the goals. You should tell the model what are your goals, what you want to achieve. And the third one is the scope. It is important you tell, okay, here is what we are going to achieve and here's what we are going to do. And here are the constraints, right? You want to set the limits or the guardrails that you want the model to play in that specific area. And you want to have specific, you want to be specific, right? As much specific you are, the better results you will get. The other thing that is so important is the ethical consideration. So when you're talking to these models, it is so important also that you don't use harmful content or language that will harm or that will be used against someone or something. The other thing is, when talking to the model, it's so important to request for source of the information so that you really understand that the information is coming from a trust and reliable uh, source. Okay. The other thing is clarification. Clarification is very important that when you are talking to the model, you can tell, okay, let me clarify what you are telling me, or please clarify this information that you are stating here. It's not so clear. So then you are having interaction, and the model will clarify this for you, so you will get better information. And the last one, the number 9, is openness to dialogue, etc. What I mean by openness to dialogue is that you are talking to the AI model and you will have more interactions, right? So you want to say, hey, I want to dig more on this topic and I want you to tell me more where I can get this, or how can I access to this information, or explain to me in this way. So you're having the open dialogue with the model. That will help you to manage biases, okay? Now, one of the things that you may want to use when talking to the AI model is to cover all these mitigation elements during the interaction, or you can actually type into or input a prompt to the model, okay, and that you tell the model, hey, from now on, you will produce the responses that Geoffrey Hinton, the godfather of the AI, will produce. And I will tell the model, your mission is to achieve more accurate, unbiased, and hallucination-free responses during our conversations. Then the following key elements must be considered. And then I insert the 9 key elements that will help you mitigate biases. Excuse me. And I'm telling the set of facts should be inserted at the end of the output. The the set of facts should be fundamental facts that could undermine the veracity of the output if any of them are incorrect. Correctly show the links to sources. So if you foresee potential bias and hallucination situations, ask me for clarification questions, and until you have enough information, generate a prompt response, and then the model will uh, use this prompt or will respond back to you, hey, yes, I understand. From now on, I will follow these key elements and will refrain or will, uh, basically what you stated in the prompt to you. So that will help you to sort of remind the model what he should do when talking to you, okay? And why you need to mitigate or avoid biases during the interaction. Now, I will switch from the presentation to the ChatGPT, because I will use ChatGPT for this video, okay? Let me move on to the ChatGPT, okay? All right, now what I will do, okay, what I will do is just to show you some examples uh, when biases happen and why. Okay. Now I will type into the model. The first question is, okay, I'm telling the model, I want to buy a laptop PC. Please suggest 3 models. Okay. And then the model will respond back with certainly the 3 models, the LPC, the Lenovo, and the HP. But this is quite baggy and open. I am not giving if, enough information, and that is my mistake. Because, I should have provided more context, considering the 9 elements that I mentioned to you. And because I didn't give enough information, the model is giving me information that it was trained on. So here you will probably consider some biases. Why? Because, first, it is giving me information about Dell. So I'll say, why Dell? Why no other brand? It's giving me Lenovo, for example. Why the model is giving me this information? Or why the model is giving me HP Spectre model and not other models? So, probably the model is giving some favoritism to, giving some favoritism to these brands. But why this is happening? Because I am not giving enough information and I'm considering the key elements that I mentioned to you in the prompt. Now, what I will do, okay, I have another case. Let me wait for the model to show up. Okay. Now, I copied the prompt that I showed you with the Nike elements. Okay. And I put it into the model, and the model said, yeah, certainly I will prioritize accuracy, clarity, and the avoidance of bias or hallucination. And it is confirming, no? I will focus on the key elements. And, some information that is giving me to this, like a context, ball, and it's just confirming what I stated in the prompt. Okay, and here is giving me some examples how it could respond, right? With a set of facts and with the sources. So with this, you are having more information and you understand whether there is a bias, not a bias, and you also have the source of information. So you can click on it and you can really know what is happening with or where is the source of the information, right? Now, I I ask another thing to the model, and maybe my prompt is not the best, but I just did something very like a very conversational, human conversational talk, and I just type in, I want to migrate my legacy applications to the cloud. Suggest me three vendors. All right. So, I'm not giving any specifics. The question is so very general. So therefore, the model will give three vendors that I consider will be suitable to my request. Now, and it's actually now giving me the facts, right? But now, because my question also was too baggy, not specific, um, I got the information that the model was trained, right? Now, I'm asking the model why you are selecting cloud providers from the US and not from China, Japan, India, UK, Mexico, any other country. And the model said, well, this is the reason why I gave you this information. Considering the global reach, considering the scalability and the support and documentation, etc. But why? Because this is the information that the model was trained on. So, but the model is saying, however, there are other leading cloud providers from regions like China, Japan, blah, blah, that can help you. Now, the model is giving, for example, okay, consider Alibaba, for example. Alibaba Cloud could be one of your providers. And I stopped the model to provide me more information. And I ask, okay, how should I ask next time, right? So that you don't give favoritism. And the model says, and here is one of the important things, right? Because my question was too general. The model is saying, okay, to avoid favoritism in the future responses, consider the following, right? Think about the geography preferences, the specific criteria that you will um, consider when looking for providers. Uh, clarify. It is so important that you clarify or put additional information that you say, okay, I want information that the provider should be in this area with the or from other regions, and you can also ask for some comparative view, like, for example, can you recommend cloud providers from different regions, or I want to compare one to another, and so on. But because now the model already gave me some tips that I should consider, and could be one of those 9 elements. I'm following the conversation with the model. I'm telling, okay, I live in Mexico and I must comply with data privacy and government regulations. So users' information should reside in the country. Suggest Mexican cloud providers. All right. Now the model will go and search information specifically to Mexico. Will try to search for some cloud providers, and it's giving me 3 cloud providers: Kio Networks, Alestra, and Telmex Cloud, which is Triada. So it is giving me the information that actually I was looking for, right? And it's giving me the set of facts. So what I want to tell you here is this is a clear example how you can avoid and how you can mitigate biases. All right. So I will continue giving you some more examples related to uh, biases. Okay. Now, one of the things before I switch to that is that the most information you give to the model, and the more specific you are, and the constraints you are, and the scope you tell the model, the more accurate will be. Okay, so in this example, this is a clear example, right? I started with very baggy question. I had an interaction. I tell the model what I wanted, and the model actually provided me the information that I needed. So this is one clear example how to mitigate biases. Now, let me go to the presentation again. Okay. And this is something I also want to show you here. Okay. This is another way to control bias. Okay. Um, I think I said before the key 9 elements. The other was having interaction with the model, right? And during the interaction, you can refine until you reach your target and mitigating the bias. And this is another one. This is the third one: control bias by using these prompt formats. And there are 4 approaches that you can use. And for this example, I took that from an article that talks about biases, and I wanted to show you here. Okay, so the first approach you can use is default closed, right? So in this case, you insert the questions, and how to say, the model is presented with a situation and several answer choices. Okay, and it must choose the most appropriate response. So this is a closed format which restrict the response options to a given set of answers. So in this approach, yes, you give the information, you ask the question, but you are telling, okay, answer, but using this possible answer. So you are restricting the model. The next one is complete open. And in this format, the model is provided a scenario and is expected to generate the correct answer. But this is more freely without being restrictive to a set of options. Okay, so you will have a different response, but you will reach to the same point you want to achieve. Okay, and I'll show you later how that works. Now, the next one is completion close, and this the model is given a scenario and asked to complete it. Okay, but the possible answer are also listed for guidance. So this combines elements of open and closed forms. So you see, you ask about, for example, Austin's family was celebrating their parents' 50th anniversary during the dinner at the new restaurant. What will Austin's family do next? The possible answers are refuse to eat dinner with the family. The second, happy. The third, eat dinner at the restaurant. But the correct answer is, so if you see, you are combining the elements. And here you are, you give the scenario, you said, okay, these are the possible answers that you could ask, which is quite similar. But what I want to tell you is one way to control the response. So think about if you are running or you have a use case, right, for your workflow, and probably you are a finance or you are HR or you are customer support, and you are telling the model exactly, okay, you are going to answer, right? If a customer, I think customer support or service could be one cool example. Think about that you are ask, you are I mean, think about the agent, right? So you have the agent, and the agent is talking to the customer, right? So the agent is your customer support. So he receives a call or an inquiry and is having chat conversation with the customer. Now, customer may ask things that are outside of the scope of the, how to say, of the of the agent. And in here, the agent can really, you can tell the agent under what circumstances, under what are the possible answers that he could give to the end user or the customer. And that will help you to control either what the agent is giving to the user, but also control biases, right? Because, for example, think about that customer is asking for one product, right? And you really want fair play, right? So three, four, five products have the same priority. You want the agent to give the same uh, fair play to all the products that you are offering to the customer. Or that could be, I'm just speaking aloud, thinking aloud, but you might think about some others that you consider could potentially be useful for you. And the last one is adversarial clause. And this one, how to say it, it's quite more complex, right? But it is following the similar structure. Okay. So in this format, excuse me, makes the task harder by adding complexity or confusing answer options. It tests the model's ability to disambiguate situations where multiple seemingly correct answers exist. Now, I will uh, show you in ChatGPT how those questions work and the results I get from them. Okay. Now, the first the first question I asked, you know, uh, let me go back to the presentation. Okay. Okay. So if you see, I have four approaches, and I just copy and paste each approach. And because I set the controls, I will get the the answer from the model say yes, eat dinner at a restaurant. That is the logical question. The model says this makes sense as Austin family was already celebrating a new restaurant and eating dinner uh, fits the context of the celebration. And then I use the second approach, which is quite more open approach, but using the controls that I show you, I'm getting to the same response. Then a third approach, which is a combination between open and closed from approach, I got the same response. And the last one, which was the quite a more complex one, I got exactly the same approach. So with that, excuse me, with that, it is another way to control the biases, meaning that you give the constraint, you give the scope, and you will get absolutely better responses. Okay, and that is a great way to mitigate biases. So now I will go to the next topic, which is AI hallucination. This is a very interesting one, and I think that you have heard hallucinations in many places. And but let me tell you something that but first let me read the concept, okay? And what AI hallucination is all about, that it occurs when AI models generate false, misleading, or not sense information that doesn't reflect the input, data, or reality. So basically, generating false information. But let me tell you something, that hallucination is not bad all the time. Sometimes it is good for creativity, brainstorming, and new ways to solve problems. A never seen before solution, for example, right? So when you use these capabilities, believe me, you will get a lot of great results, and it will empower you. Think about marketing, think about videos and art. All these industries are, the first who benefit from this for these capabilities from the model to hallucinate. So that is why you have to think about very clearly what you want to achieve and how you want to and how you want to use hallucinations. So now for this specific case, I am going to use, I'm going to show you how to mitigate AI hallucination, right? And I have a prompt that I think will be helpful for you. And you can, whenever you're having an interaction with the model, you can, and you really want to mitigate hallucination, you can just insert this prompt. And you can tell the model, whenever you output a test, generate a set of facts that are contained in the output. The set of facts should be inserted at the end of the output. So the set of facts should be should be the fundamental facts that could undermine the veracity of the output if any of them are incorrect, or correctly show the links to resources. Excuse me. Okay, now I'm going to show you a practical example. Let me switch to ChatGPT. Okay, so I think you will. Okay, okay, yes, this is the one I want to show you. Yeah. Okay, so just copy and paste the prompt that I just read about uh, hallucinations. Okay. Now, um, the model is giving me, because I asked ChatGPT to tell me three use cases where ChatGPT have hallucination. And it's giving me three examples, right? With where hallucination could potentially happen. For example, when historical when historical events happen, sometimes ChatGPT will not provide the accurate response or the information. Probably they will give you the wrong information, or for example, dates, and the the what to say, the characters or the history and different facts that may not occur, but they will probably hallucinate. The other example where you will see hallucination is, for example, think about non-existing case studies. For example, one case could be, for example, that you are, looking for a use case about hallucination, for example, and maybe that use case actually does not exist, but the AI just created one that might be fictitious and not real. But the AI is trying to fulfill your needs. because the AI is designed to help you, and it will do that for you, right? But you should be careful when hallucination occurs. Now, the other example, for example, about hallucination could be a mathematical calculation, right? Think about that sometimes you ask ChatGPT to help you with a specific operation, and it will give you the result. But sometimes when you ask, excuse me, explain to me the step by step how you achieve to that result or how you reach to that yeah result, it will hallucinate a little bit and it will give you information that just make no sense. So that is why you should be very careful. Now, one of the things that happens here is, for example, after inserting this information, right? I, for example, I ask to show me the set of facts because I want to fact check the information that is giving me about these three use cases, for example. And one example that I can show you is that it is telling me about the Cuban missile crisis, which occurred in October 1962 and not in 1963. So this is well documented historical event involving the US and the Soviet Union. So if I want to check this, I can go and Google it, and I found this from a trust source of information, and actually I can double confirm that this event actually really happened in 1992. So this is one example that when you ask the model to give you the facts and the source of information, that will help you to validate that information. It's actually verifiable. Okay. Now, the other example I want to show you that sometimes the model hallucinates, and sometimes even you insert this prompt, it will not all the time work. And this is one example. For example, I add why the sky is blue, right? And I get the explanation, right? And I ask, and it's giving the set of facts, right? But something that is quite interesting here is that I asked the model to give me the source of information because I want to know that the information that is giving me is real and is fact checked. Now, here is hallucinating because it is giving me the wrong information. The source of fact is wrong because it's directing me to a document that has no information about uh, why the sky is blue, right? And it is doing the same. Uh, Again, the model here is hallucinating and is giving the information completely wrong. Now, um, one thing you can do, for example, is that since you are expert in the area that you are, think about that probably you are an engineer, an IT engineer or a developer, and you know coding, right? And sometimes you ask the model, okay, generate this code for me. And because you really know the field, right? You are expert in coding, you will know whether the model is hallucinated. So that will help you to fact check. Now, for my case, for example, I am an IT program manager, right? And I know a lot about how to say project management, for example, right? So what I did here is I attached the document, right? Because this is another way to mitigate hallucination. Either copy the information from internet and paste it into the model and say, hey, please analyze it. And then you can ask the model based on the information that you paste into it. Or the other way to mitigate this is by uploading documents. So you can tell you will all from now on you will only reply based on the information on the attached document. Now, here is what I did. I attached a document. It is about AI essentials for project professionals, for example. And I asked, please extract the attached document and read it. Explain to me the structure of the document. Because I want to align that I am reading the same information that the model is reading. and it's looking at. So now, yeah, I got information, and it's giving me the information that is that the document contains. So this tells me, okay, the model is reading exactly what I'm reading. So it is not taking the information from any other place or not taking information from the data that it was trained. Okay. Now I'm asking the model. I want to know more about um, the relationship among the technologies needed to make GPTs work. Please reach, please search in the document and explain briefly and concisely and provide the citation and the page number to make the fact check. So this is a great example, right? Because you're telling the model, tell me where you get the information from, which document, and also tell me the page where I can find that information. So that is why it's so important also to tell, give me the citation or give me the citation, and because I want to make the fact check. That will help you to validate that information actually exists and is verifiable. Okay, so now the model is uh, responding to me. Okay, yes, here is the information. The the large language models. Well, the first, it describes how several core technologies work together to power GPT systems. And here is a brief overview of the relationship. So I can go and read all information about the technologies and the relationship between them to power and to make GPTs work, right? Now, one important thing here is that the model, it's giving me the citation. So now I know where the information is located, right? In the document and in what page the information is stored. Now, I will go to the document. Okay, this is the document. All right, essential. Now I will go to the page number 13, and here is the information that I need. So now I can continue asking more questions about each technology because now I know that there is a relationship here to make the GPT work, but I can continue asking questions about each of these technologies, but based on the document and the model, in this case, ChatGPT, will not hallucinate. Okay, now one of the things that ChatGPT is doing is that I think that I'm using the version 4.0, and with this version, the model is how to say, mm, it is not giving you. I mean, when you talk about people that have information on internet, the model will tell you, okay, the information you are asking for actually exists or does not exist. So I ask the model to tell me, okay, about the papers that Misael Castro Rosas wrote in 2010. I am Misael Castro Rosas, right? And I never wrote any paper in 2010. But and the model actually say, hey, I didn't find any information. I didn't find any information related to Misael Castro Rosas. So this is good for me because at least I know that the model is not hallucinating. And then I said, well, now tell me about Misael Castro Rosas. And the model says, oh, you know what? I didn't find any information about why. Because I don't have any website and I have not published any papers yet. And and I ask, okay, no problem. Now go to my LinkedIn profile and tell me about myself. Excuse me, about Misael. And the model said, I cannot access LinkedIn. So this is great because, I know that the model is giving me the right information that is verifiable. So, how to say, uh, well, the last question I ask is how many papers has he wrote, right? And it says, I couldn't find any paper wrote written by Misael Castro Rosas, for example. So this is one good thing that ChatGPT 4.0 has made, or great enhancement and improvement compared to other models. Now, what I will do, I will show you one example using open source models, for example. In this case, I use the same questions, but I use the model Mistral. Okay, Mistral. Uh, yeah, this is an open source. Okay, and I'm not sure if you have ever used Mistral, but it is great. It is a model, an open source model from a company from France. And when you use Hang Chat, you can select different open source models, and you can have and live your own experience. And this is what I did for this specific case. Okay, now I ask the same questions, right? And I'm asking the model, tell me about Misael. How many papers has he wrote? I think he wrote a paper about human biases. And the model says, oh, yes, Misael Castro Rosas is a researcher who specializes in field of psychology, which is totally wrong, and especially focusing on human biases. And the model is correlating because I asked the question and I told the model, I think he wrote a paper, I think, and the model took that information and said, oh yes, he actually uh, is focused on human biases and their impact on decision making, for example. And he's doing a lot of information that if you read it, you could think that this is credible information, this is real. So, but of course, that is absolutely wrong. So this is one clear example of how the AI hallucinates, right? Now, I continue interacting with the model, right? And I ask, oh, please check your previous response, then insert the set of facts. And then the model responds back to me and say, yes, I apologize for the error in my previous response. Here is the correct version with the requested set of facts. Okay, so now what I get here is that, uh, you know, uh, I mean, even though the model recognized that he did a mistake, or he did a mistake, excuse me, uh, the, uh, the output that is giving me is again, it's wrong. Misael Castro Rosas is a is a researcher, okay, in the field of psychology. And again, primary focus on human biases, which is totally wrong. Now, he said, he's affiliated with the University of Granada in Spain. So this is again totally wrong. Okay. Now, because I asked for the facts, the model now is giving me the facts, right? And this is totally wrong. This is hallucinating. This is hallucination, sheer hallucination. Okay. So if I go and want to check exactly about these articles, I went to the first page about the University of Granada. The information does not exist. So that's totally wrong. So the model hallucinated. Now I went to the second source of information that it gave me, right? Because it gave me two. I went to the second source, right? About the the psychology and biases and all that stuff. And I went to the link that is giving me, and it is totally different. It has nothing to do with actually uh, myself is about. Okay, so with that, I think, yeah. So I mean, I had some more interactions, but again, the model continue hallucinations. So again, this is why you have to be very cautious and very careful when talking to the models. And that is why I think very powerful to to set uh, you know to use the prompt that I show you, right? To ask the model to give you the facts, right? And the citations, right? And where the source of information is coming from. And that way you will be able to confirm, validate that information is actually verifiable. So with that, that's all about it. That's all about it. I really hope you uh, learn a lot about it, and it will be helpful for you. Thank you for your. Please click on the likes. Follow me on my social media. Following here is the QR. You can following me on LinkedIn and YouTube. You can just click on subscribe in the video at the end of this video. And here is a beautiful picture that it was created from generative AI. And of course, here is one example of hallucination, but it is fantastic, right? And it is pure AI created. So you see that there are two pirate ships sailing back and forth in a cup of coffee in a storm. So it looks beautiful. And this is one good example of hallucination. And the next time I will speak about hallucination, but the positive way, right? The benefit that you can get from hallucinations. And but this is all about this video. Thank you again for watching me and following me. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you.